So we have a quorum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay. So we got the minute. First thing, this meeting is being recorded
7:17.
and we started at 7:17 and calling the meeting to order. So first on the agenda item is reading the minutes and approving. Has everybody online and here had a chance to read the minutes?
Yep.
Yeah,
Any comments, concerns, changes?
I didn't have any.
I'll make a motion to accept them as written.
I'll second that.
Thanks, see, and Norm. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? I'll run down a roll call. Norm,
Aye.
Mike Coombs,
Aye.
Dick Reynolds, aye. Deb Harris,
Aye.
Paul Murphy.
Aye.
Okay, confirmed. Okay, next. We have public comment. Any public comment out here, or are you all here for the North Pond, North Lake Ave issue?
Yes.
All right, that's an agenda item. Okay. Any other public comments from anybody else? Don't have any other public. Okay. None. All right, moving along. Concom update, Norm?
I have several items to update you on tonight. We've had a public hearing started at 112 Berkshire Ave. For a lot of waterfront activity, including a couple of, retaining walls, including a retaining wall on the lake or at the lake. Lot of activity will be going on a small lot. We had a site visit on Thursday, and we'll have it on our agenda Monday, this coming Monday, for further discussion and vote.
Okay,
Okay. I don't think I mentioned that there was an emergency certification to approve 3 trees at 116 and 114 Berkshire Ave. That was approved.
okay,
Okay, and on 7 and 9 Lakeview, the two new homes there. They had submitted a request for certification of compliance. And the Conservation Commission approved that. So that particular item is now a dead issue. Good, because it's closed. Good news, from the select board, they have appointed Chris Pratt back to the select board, or back to the Conservation Commission.
Yay.
So he'll bring with him his 21 years of experience in
Right.
conservation.
Yeah.
And we look forward to having him on our Monday meeting. And then I wanted to, something rare has happened. I have been visiting the Conservation Commission 3 years as the liaison and 1 year as a member. And in that 4 years, I only missed one meeting. And we never took on anything in Connecticut that had to do with wetlands. And I'm happy to say, thanks to our conservation coordinator, we have our first notice of violation by the wetland enforcement officer of the Suffield, town of Suffield.
Excellent.
And I can show you a picture that.
What was the location?
579 Forest Road.
Oh,
Neighbor
okay.
of Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a picture. I took the pictures, but Sabrina Pooler did all the work to get them to act.
Is it gonna come up on the screen or no?
Didn't I hit search? Okay, hang on. Share screen. Yeah. There it is. Okay, I'm standing on the neighbor's dock. And the blue line is basically the original shoreline. Anything to the right has been added to.
Hmm.
Wow.
We've got this area here, which I would call the jetty. The information we got from the person that called us, he said he was building a jetty. But she also meant that all this fill over here was part of what her definition was of jetty as well,
Well,
okay? Now, in addition, now this is on the same dock, but I'm further out. You can see coming down this hill, he is taken out all the vegetation.
Hmm.
And,
created like a road.
yeah, it's like a road to the beach.
With traffic.
And that's the number one thing that the enforcement officer from Suffield is going after.
Hmm.
So I give kudos to Sabrina for taking the action of making the contact
Excellent.
and, for our first enforcement on the Suffield side of the lake.
What address is that?
579.
579
579.
Is that South Pond or Middle Pond?
Middle Pond.
Middle Pond.
Okay,
Okay.
then at our upcoming meeting on Monday, we have an NOI from 81 Point Grove Road for removal of the Beaver Lodge and dredging. I don't believe conservation has the capability of approving dredging.
That's
I think it's
correct.
Chapter
Yeah,
91.
as far as I know, they have to,
Uh,
but they may not, the thing is, it may not be, it depends on how he writes it up, whether it's gonna
Yeah.
be dredging, or if you don't go down, if you just remove it,
Yeah,
I believe DEP had said that does not constitute dredging, as long as you pick it up. If you go
Okay.
digging down, then it's
Yeah.
dredging.
I think he said that he wants to remove 68 cubic yards of material, is what he said on his NOI.
That-
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not sure, that's below the 100-yard threshold, which puts it in a different
Yeah.
category.
okay, I was gonna present tonight some new charts on the LLP program for income and, but Mike pointed out an error that I made, so I'm gonna
Okay.
wait and I'm gonna get it done right
Okay,
before I show it to you. in the
okay,
Next meeting, stop the share there. And then at the last meeting, Mike Coombs asked for a counting of the, rotating, LPP budget
mhm,
and the status of that and disbursements from that. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but, the only disbursements from that account has been the salaries to go to Gene, which is part of legal.
Okay.
There's currently a balance of $41,000 and $41,206 in there.
hmm,
Wow.
I'm gonna notify the chief that he's not withdrawing money from that account, that he can,
mhm,
For Lake Patrol.
for lake patrols.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have that, and I'll try to keep my eye on that going forward.
good,
Shouldn't be too many for this year.
I think that's all I have for Concom update.
okay,
Thank you, Norman.
You're welcome.
good one, a lot of good news.
Yes,
Yeah.
How about your MPSC master plan,
That will
anything
be a-
update or?
that will be a shorter, update. We're still, the consultant is putting together the final version to get presented to next Thursday to the planning board. At our next meeting, I hope to have all of the action items that impact lake management. I'll
Okay,
be able to present those
excellent,
at that meeting. And that's all I have for master plan.
okay. Moving on. The real quick one on 141 Congamon Road, we're on, sheet 8D of the handout. And as you can see, the what do you call it, the select board withdrew what could have stopped it for now. We came to an agreement with adjusting how many were on the transient, so that transient dock is actually shorter. Which it could do, DEP said that was okay, you could make it shorter, you couldn't make it longer. So they depopulated the northernmost dock by 4 spaces.
Yeah.
And so that takes care of that. So there's nothing else to say on it, but that's good news. The next item that was on there was the boat dock and boats that were in Turtle Cove. If you recall, Mike here has been chasing those for what, probably 3 years?
Close to it.
Yeah,
And finally got-
trying to figure out who owned
the
them,
property.
because they were staying there during the winter. Well, the person that owns the property had nothing to do with the docks. Actually, it's owned by BGR Materials, which is Crestview. And somebody way up, not waterfront, put that dock in there and the boats. And they took the boats out in the winter, but they didn't take the dock out in the winter. Crestview do not want that dock there because they're selling the property, and the person doesn't want this dock that does not belong to him to be off his property. So it's gotta be removed, and it's in the process of being removed as the boat, and I believe the boats have actually already been removed.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
So that's good. It's been a long time coming.
Good.
So, gone. And then the next one you just briefly touched on, 81 Point Grove, so I will not, it's just that the NOI, as you said, has been submitted. I do not know whether they have to go a chapter 91 license to do that. And again, that threshold, it may have to do with the 100 cubic yard threshold. There's a magic number.
Okay,
And then when you get over that, then it's another category, what you can do, what Concom can allow, without going to a 91 license.
okay.
I know that all the ones we did, for the boat ramps and for the docks and for the head walls, all that stuff, every one of those had to have a chapter 91 license. But we'll see.
Okay. We have put people on the commission that would probably know that answer.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He's just got one that's gonna help a lot there. So the next thing is the mass boating license, and I've gotten a few comments from people on that Senate Bill 536. And I recirculated that, so that everybody can peruse it. And if you have any comments, one of the comments I've gotten from several people is having a reciprocal agreement, which I 100% agree with any states that already require a license. So since we've already got, we're in the minority in Massachusetts, so I think they're now up to 40 something states that require a boating license. So it's somewhere in there. So we're in the, 10, maybe a dozen states that do not require it. And I have circulated the Connecticut license, and we're asking Mass legislators to start, go look at the Connecticut one. It's been in place for now, I think, about 15 years. So it would be a really good example to look at it and make sure you don't reinvent the wheel.
Hey,
And
Dick,
yes.
did you forget the CRC update again?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Michelle. Well, let me finish on the boating license. And so please get your comments in, send them to me. I want to get that. John Vilas has asked for any of our comments on that. He sent it to me. So we'll get it back to him, and I will include Nick Baldiga and Paul Mark when we get these comments out. So action item for everybody. Okay, so CRC update.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle.
Okay, Hi, just a couple of things. The vote on whether or not CRC funds the rope swing removal and the tree trimming and cutting on North Pond has closed as of yesterday for voting. And so the votes are all in and we haven't gone over them as a group yet. So I don't have anything to announce other than there were people on both sides of the issue, a lot of voting on both sides of the issue. So we'll report that out probably hopefully in the next few days or so. We had a first aid and yeah, the responses were very interesting and coming from different angles of things. There were a lot of different comments that were made and some emails that people sent me or some Facebook posts giving me a rationale as to how they felt about it. And so LMC is a mixed group on it and CRC is a mixed group on it. So I'll report that stuff out and the percentage of, who voted from Mass versus Connecticut and that kind of thing. So it's interesting.
Good.
Yeah. And unfortunately, our CPR and first aid training had to be canceled. We didn't have enough trainers when it came down to it. So we've asked to have that rescheduled, hoping we'll be able to do that. I haven't heard anything on a set date for that or not, but we'd really like to get people to that, first aid on the lake, things that would happen or may happen out when you're boating or using the lake, as well as CPR, which I feel like everyone should know. And the Narcan usage as well, which is important. Never know when you might need things like that. Hopefully you don't, but you want it when you do. Our next meeting, the second Tuesday in October, we're going to have a presentation and we're going to have in person some of the boats from the King family that are going to be there, and you can come and have a chance to hear Ron Green speak about those and do that presentation. And then the boats that are going to be there live and in person, which I think is just super cool, part of our history on the lake. So that will be the next and our final meeting. We have the positions of vice president and president that will be open for re-election this year. If anybody is interested or knows anyone who's interested in those positions, they can certainly send a letter of interest to CRC. We're hoping, I talked to Deb a little bit, just very briefly this afternoon. I'd love to get John Vilas to come out and talk to our group about the importance of the Hansen bill and seeing if, we can really kind of rally support of that. It's something people have talked about for a long time. And so I think CRC will be all in and all behind it. Of course, I never know about these issues. Sometimes I'm surprised, but yeah, we're hoping maybe he would be able to come out and just say a few words and kind of rally some support around that. And then lastly, our golf tournament, we had to postpone. We had a really horrendous forecast for this past weekend, but didn't turn out to be too bad, but still wasn't a good day for golf. So we're hoping that Monday, Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day will be a good day to reschedule the golf tournament too. It's going to be everything the same at Edgewood and then at Brassrail afterwards, same everything. So we've already got a lot of foursomes signing up for that day. Some people that have it off or can get it off. So there's spots open for golf, for dinner, if people are interested in that.
If you send me an update on that, I will broadcast it to our group. I'll do a first for everybody.
Sure, perfect.
Okay.
I think Deb said that. Hey, Michelle, can I ask you a question?
You may.
Mike Coombs, I know you're a big advocate for the lights over at the channel. What are people saying? Are they happy with it? I haven't been out at night. The lights at the
For
channel.
the lights on the channel. So we only have those ones in the middle. People kind of wanted them to be a little brighter and wanted them to blink a little more quickly, probably. So that's kind of being looked at. Not much else has happened with it since. The middle one especially was a little bit dim, but there are remote controls. The person who made them will have one. Chief Landos will have one. And then I think maybe Dick, maybe you are the third.
One, yes.
Yeah. And they can be changed in terms of their intensity and I believe and the pattern of the blinking and the speed of that and all of that. So not much else to report on that. We're hoping to get those red and green ones done for the rest of that pretty soon. Doesn't seem like there's been anybody messing with them or any problems. I can see them from my house. I can look out my window now and see them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. They do look good.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty happy about that.
Okay. Anything else, Michelle?
That's it for me. Unless Deb, you can think of anything.
She's muted, but
I can't even think right now, so you covered great.
You done good. Oh, okay. So the next one is why for our guests here, the docks dock at 141 North Lake Ave, and I gave you, there's an individual map that I put separately. Let me just grab a copy.
The blue one?
Yeah, the blue one.
Mhm.
And
That was today, right?
yes, yeah, I did email those out. So as you can see on that, there's a lot of dialogue in the pages that are, page 23 to 48. And invite you folks, let me just summarize what I see, and then please, love to have you fill in the blanks. But the map shows that Mr. Goldberg inserted a dock in front of number 137 property. And I've requested this evening, I requested a copy of the application, unless you have his application. Did anybody get that? I requested that because I want to see what it said. Because obviously it's not in front of his property. And he cannot put a dock in front of somebody else's property.
I have the map up on the screen.
Oh, good, good. And well, there's this one, I don't know,
Right.
yeah, if you, I don't know if you could put that one up, because that identifies everything. Have you got, I emailed that,
You emailed that, okay.
yeah,
I got a stock share.
done some good research on, and in the meantime, I've been researching, what he can and can't do. And obviously what he did, he should not have done. And it's, the other thing is to insert a dock in front of somebody else's property between other docks, so that now it's rendered those basically useless,
It's a hazard, honestly.
Yeah,
Well, he parked, he lives right next door to us.
yes.
And he parks his boat.
If you can speak up, because it's,
Okay, sometimes on either side, he parks his boat. So if he parks his boat, and I was gonna ask him so I could take a picture, but, I mean, their docks are gonna be.
Yeah, there's not enough room. on-
you have a boat,
On either side, because they're on the other side, and they put their boat on they put their boat on the other side,
Right,
and there's no way to get any boats through. I mean, even regardless, I mean, it just seems kind of silly that it would be there in the first place.
the other thing that I did is I matched up the data that you gave me, and then I decided, okay, I went and I pulled up all the property information for each parcel. And that shows the genesis of sales of those properties, and you are correct that the predecessor to Mr. Goldberg, who was the one that was there at the time this document was being circulated, and you had the suit, he did not participate. No.
two owners.
Hmm?
Two owners, yeah.
Two owners before, yes, but nobody participated.
Over because it was Nancy Griswold who owned it prior to him and Matheos originally.
What they were the ones, right, that Matheos were the ones that were there at the time you took the action.
Correct.
Yeah, and so Matheos did not participate. So you are correct. They are not covered by that agreement. And so therefore, that piece of property is not covered by that agreement. But it's still, you can't put that best. If he had participated, there would be a way for him to might have been a way for him to put a dock in front of his own property. But doesn't even look, I mean, that's really crowded in that corner anyway. Yeah, it would really be sandwiched. I'm not sure exactly how one could do that. But, he obviously, he didn't participate, so he can't do what he did. And he certainly cannot put a dock. Now, we are not the enforcers, just to understand. We're hearing this because we participate in the local permitting program, Dennis Clark and myself were the ones that spent probably a man year between us, working with DEP to create that thing, and it took us, I think we were 4 years in the making. It was a long process because DEP doesn't move fast, but once you get it, even in the first draft, then everybody and his uncle has to review the first draft. Then you create a second draft and you go through it. And then the approval process, everybody had to approve that thing. So it took quite a while, but now it's actually in their 310 CMR. So that process is documented in 310 CMR, so they can actually do that for other municipalities. We were delighted to have that happen because at the time, DEP was going from the largest water Great Ponds in the Commonwealth, working their way down, and they were to Otis. We were next on the block. So it was great to have the ability to control it locally and have any costs associated with it as receipts that would come to the town instead of to the state, because the state does not contribute to the Great Ponds, as you well know. That's why the town funded the most recent alum treatment, and we fund the annual invasive species treatment, so thank you, Commonwealth just doesn't contribute. So this at least allows that money to stay, and it's for lake safety, patrols and like that. It's explicitly in that approved document. That document's available online. It's on the website. And so
Are we talking about the dock right now, Dick? Are we talking about the dock? Okay.
Yes, one at 141. So he did not go through the right process. I have asked Concom for a copy of that application because something's not right. He must have said in that application that it was, yes, it's in front of my property, and no, it's not in front of his property. Because
Did he get approved? Is he approved by Concom?
He was approved by Concom. Yes.
We received stickers.
He received stickers.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody ever went out to see where he was.
And our understanding is that he asked Mark Garrity of the association for permission to put the dock in the lake, and Mark said yes, according to Goldberg. But then Mark Garrity wrote an email out to Gene
and said absolutely not. He never said that.
I think you read that email.
Right, I did.
Yes, he said absolutely not, and so we don't know how that transpired. But there was a section of the email that Sabrina and Gene sent out.
Yeah.
That said what Mark was saying, but that was part of another email, I guess, that went out.
And you have copies of those. We have copies of them in our package.
Part of another doc that was going in for the association.
Because Mark even said he would come here tonight and say, I did not say that, and he never gave him permission. So
has no jurisdiction actually.
So the great part right there is the towpath.
Right.
Yes, after that line right there.
Yeah.
And so his actual dock is placed in between, right there where your the information thing is, pretty close to that.
Yeah, I don't know if you got this one you could bring up?
It's not part of the association.
Tried, but it was upside down.
It's the wrong direction.
And you can't rotate it?
I couldn't see how I could rotate it, and it
That's
also.
all right.
He put it in
He pointed
upside
to
down.
the right location. That's where it is.
Oh, the only reason I was asking if it's possible to get it up there is because this shows where each dock and with a name on it. And the name, what I did is I also put on this one, I penciled in the names of the property owners
Okay.
and the addresses, and then you put in very kindly, put in whose dock it was in front of there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's, it's absolutely is sitting right in front of your property, Rick,
So this dock here is from 139, and it's the Case family.
Yes.
Yes.
This dock here is from 137,
That's
the
right.
Anderson family.
And then another one got sandwiched in the middle, right in front of 137.
And this one is the, from 135, which is the Rotundo.
Yes,
And then the Goldberg one is someplace,
it got placed right there, yeah. And it makes it so that you can't get boats on the docks that were already approved.
What is the dock with the 5 boats? Is that the association?
that's this one over here.
Right, that's over in that corner.
Okay,
And they have a chapter 91 license for that.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
And Neil, to that, you guys are on, you have a chapter 91 license for yours, which is part of that,
Yeah.
right?
Which
So
one,
people-
which one's it, has a chapter?
Up in the corner,
Case?
let me put on my glasses, the North Pond View Association dock,
Yeah, okay.
that's got a license. And Neil, where's yours physically? Hmm,
So if you show the association dock right there.
yeah,
We are from here to the right of that. We're going the other way.
oh, okay,
Someplace up here?
no, you must
I
be,
mean, we're closer to that,
Oh.
right like there.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
and you got a small dock that's there, it's not not 6 miles long,
Oh, no.
I know, I've seen it.
That's my home Turnbull fix there.
Yeah, yeah. So, at any rate, that's why I've asked for a copy of the application. I want to read the application, because we've had people sign, this has happened more often than you think, where part of it is you have to say that you own the property first. Second, you are locating it, and it says you have to show your extended property line. So if you've got property lines that come out like this, that's a problem if you don't have the clearance. And we had one on the end of Brayton Drive and Pine, where those come together. There's a lot that's only got 15 feet of waterfront. And so they made an agreement with their neighbor to the north that they could put it angled towards them on their very limit, and everybody was happy. So they got a written approval from their neighbor who said, hey, I think he had like 100 feet of waterfront. So he said, yeah, I don't care, so that solved it. But one can't just say, there is no, just so everybody understands, there's no right to have a dock on a great pond for anybody. But it's a mother may I. But when you do something that goes against any of the rules, and even all the DEP for a chapter 91 license, you have to state that you own that property.
Right.
And theirs is under penalty of perjury, when you sign up for it. So, and obviously, whatever piece of paper, and that's what I want to see. What did it say?
Well, I think it was the email that.
No, I want to see the actual application.
Right, so there has to be a drawing, we had to do.
Yes.
Place it out there, with the 1/4-inch grid and,
Yep.
every 5 feet, and it was very meticulous. the way-
So if we can get Norma, I don't know if you're
Take care of it.
okay. So we'll get that. We'll analyze that, and that'll help, because obviously he can't put it where he did, but we have to find out what made him think he could do what he
He
did.
did that, and I don't know the exact date, but he's done this before in the same location. It's been
Oh.
like maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And it was a big bright yellow dock, I guess I was told.
Oh, gosh, it was shortly after he had moved in there, so, while you were
Was it in the same location or?
Same
location, he had dumped it in there, and it was either lake management or conservation that told him he had to remove that.
Okay.
I remember that, and it was an old wooden association dock.
Hence the yellow.
There you go.
So who's in charge of the tow path? Because he
Well,
ripped up the tow path while
The
he was
tow
there.
path, part of that is a lot of that still, I believe, remains with the state.
Okay,
It's protected. You have to dig real deep to find all that. And at one time, I believe that it still was in DCR's hands. But that's, the towpath issue is really a civil matter, but what he did is a town matter because you can't put it in front of, according to what we have to work with, which is the local permitting program. And if he said, well, I'll go and get a chapter 91 license, he can't do that either because he's got to say that it's going off of his property and he can't do that.
so we're responsible, we go back and forth from here to California.
Yeah,
We're responsible in all our paperwork, we know that we're responsible for the tow path in front of our house.
yeah.
He's responsible for his. Now this guy's come along and ripped it up
Mm.
to put the dock in. So are we still responsible for what he does? That's my question.
That's one that we'll have to bring to Concom.
Yeah,
And once he removes it, then he.
How much damage?
I mean, it's in front of the dock, and what he did is he scraped out a whole bunch of the, grass and stuff.
Oh.
On the right side of the dock.
Oh, you dick.
So, I mean. yeah,
I think
took
there's a
pictures,
picture of
yeah.
it.
I mean, it's not,
Terrible, but we want to know whose
Yeah.
responsibility it is.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay,
I'll go over there and take a picture.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
That's in that picture.
you can see it in there.
And now, of course, Dick, you know, that, whatever permit they gave him,
Mm.
okay? Is only good till November first, is that correct?
correct.
Okay,
Right.
so, here's the thing,
Oh, well, all docks all have to be out by December 1st. So they're good till November 30th,
okay.
but they have to be out of the water by December 1st.
December first, so now he gets a guy to come back, okay, to take this out,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if he rips it up some
Well,
more?
how did he put it in? By hand or did he have a
He
machine?
hired a
He
company.
hired the company.
Hired a company.
Chad, I guess he does a lot of work on the lake as far as, installing and removing docks.
Hmm.
So, and he does the association dock and as well, and then I can't, all I saw in his card was Chad, and so I can get you, I'll send you the, contact information.
Yeah, if you can, please.
Yeah,
Please
but
do.
somebody,
We'll have him fix
they
it.
should not be responsible.
No,
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 somebody-
no. You didn't damage it.
Like that.
He damaged the area in front of yours.
Well, it's like right on our property.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, and when we leave, we always try to make sure everything's cleaned up, everything's packed up, because we go get out of the snow.
And you shouldn't have to make a mess out of it, to put a dock in.
No,
We don't know why that happened.
Unusual.
No,
We
no.
saw it.
The only thing is that he must have dragged something from the edge.
Yep.
Mm,
That's what that shows.
and he's
That's what it looks like.
And so I think what happened was he had a hard time walking, over the, seawall that's there, it's kind of a crumbling seawall right
Yeah.
there. So he was trying to get over that, and I think there's dirt in front of it.
So did he bring it down from, like where Tracy Albano was through that slot?
It's right next to his house. His house is the.
Yeah, that's between Tracy Albano. That's a 10-foot wide
Public access. Yeah.
public access.
Yes.
So he must have dragged it down that and then dragged it
I
along.
think so, because that's the only way, but I think the company did it, not him.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah.
Would you give Norm permission to come on your property to take a look?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because we have to ask. We can't just go walking.
Sure,
If you want to give me your contact information when we're done.
Okay.
sure.
Good.
Yeah,
Norm has my email, because we.
yeah. And so you guys can chat.
I'll send it over.
Because he's conservation, he's lake management and conservation. You got a twofer tonight.
Okay.
But who would be in charge for making him enforcing the removal?
That's conservation and the harbor master,
One or the other.
right? Or both.
One or-
What is our next move?
I think,
That'll be Norm.
yeah, let us
Yeah.
take the information you've given us. You've given us a lot.
Okay,
And now we have to digest it, but we need to have that permit, that application that he had to see what he claimed.
All we saw was a sticker, and they did put the sticker on the
Hmm.
dog, but
Yeah.
he never.
Yeah, and I have
So
not
I
seen
said,
it.
Do you have permission for this? And he said, you don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Now, Dick, Rick and Wanda are leaving shortly to go back to California,
Yeah.
okay?
How should, I mean, soon, or can we get,
Yeah, this Monday, so, but
could you take a look maybe tomorrow? Or Saturday or Sunday?
Yes.
Tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday?
great.
Okay, well, because I'd like to do it while you're there.
Okay, sure.
Don't wanna go-
And we're here Monday morning.
Okay.
so-
Yeah, we don't want to go roaming on people's property.
Norm, you can always come to my house.
Yeah,
Good, Norm.
But I think Norm will also need the name of the company that puts them in,
And I'll go.
so we can inform them that they cannot put that dock in also.
right.
I
No matter
think
what
Chad
the
lives
concept.
on
Well,
North
he
Pond,
talked
doesn't
to
he?
this guy,
Huh.
And he said, well, he wanted me to put it right in front of the fire pit.
I'm sure.
But, I said, no, I should move it down a little bit. So then he put it basically in between our two properties.
Yeah.
But you don't abut him anyway, right?
No. No, not at all.
That's the thing. That's what I put that's why I took the time to take your map and then add who owns what, because once you do that, you see that he wasn't even in front of his property at all.
And nobody ever asked our permission or told, I mean, I don't know
Right.
if they have to, but nobody ever even informed us. We're across the lake and all of a sudden we see people.
Wow.
So.
All right. Have you got anything else on it, or can we move on?
Yeah.
Everything's been said.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome to stay if you want, we're just, but if not, if you're leaving, we thank you for coming and presenting your information. Good job, you put together a lot. I put a lot into it myself, researching who owns what and the genesis of each piece of property. Because we've got to do that. We have to be sure that, just like we're gonna do with that application, is it right? Or is it wrong?
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, and we will do that.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
You need some information, Norm?
He's gonna email me again.
Oh, he'll email.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
email you the information.
Yeah, and you can CC me on anything.
Oh, I will, I'll do that.
And if it's convenient, I'll try and, maybe tag along. I'd like to take a look at it too.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
okay. We had the page 4950. I was not here when it happened, but there was an experimental helicopter from Command that crashed in the lake right off of where the fishing pier is now. They basically built a road out to get it out. And they claimed that they removed all the material. Well, when we built the fishing pier, we found out, no, they did not. That is not native material that is where the fishing pier is. It was trucked in and it's rubble. And so Scotty remembers, and he responded. And so what the claim was, as I said, when I researched back, I just happened to stumble on it because I was in the clerk's office
Yeah.
trying to find some data on another site that we're working on. And I just saw that and I copied it. So you have a copy of what I found, that the claim was, oh yeah, we took it all out.
Yeah, right.
They didn't, they spread it out. They may have taken some of it out, but they spread out the rest. So that's why we have that shoal over in front of Louis B's,
Yes.
because most of it went that direction. Because the pier is built on it hugs the western edge of the pile of debris that they, left behind. So if you go on the pier, you'll see it drops off very rapidly on the western side, but on the eastern side, it's very shallow. You have maybe 2 feet of water. So many a prop has been lost in there.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I had on here, and then we'll open it up if anybody else has anything, but 320 CMR, I gave you copies of, and we've had a problem, as we've talked about before, with people illegally parking in the ramps, particularly north ramp. More so, because of the fishing pier there, and there's, all the benches and everything, and we'll get arguments from people, well, I'm going on this boat and I can park here. And that is a direct violation of the 320 CMR, because that is state land. It explicitly says that facility is for launching. You have to have a boat when you come into it. The signage says that. We often wind up having to call the police because people then will refuse.
Yeah.
It also, swimming is strictly prohibited. Wading is strictly prohibited. It's not a beach, cannot be a beach. And the public access is adamant about that. And that's why it's in 320 CMR, carries $100 fine. So, it could be an expense. Oh, and you can't fish within 50 feet of any of the docks.
Right.
So
Is that only enforceable by the police?
we can't enforce
That's what I'm
anything.
saying, so you have to call the police.
We have to call the police.
Okay.
Yeah, we cannot enforce anything, but we always advise them. Most people are good about it, but you get the occasional. I had one the other day. He came blowing through the stop sign to begin with. So obviously they didn't read the sign, but it was a fisherman that just blew through that. Probably, I would say he was going at least 25, maybe 30 miles an hour, because he made it from top to bottom, right into a space, screeched and halt, and then ran and hopped in a boat. And he was going to leave it there. And, he just was adamant about, arguing about it. So I said, if you leave it there, it's going to get a ticket on it. We can tow them too. That's the other thing. It's in that CMR. We can have them towed. So if you're there for a reason that doesn't meet,
Sure.
you don't have a boat and you just leave it there. Also, if you leave it overnight, they have an 18-hour maximum parking in there. And if you are there overnight, you have to have a permit to have a boat stay there. So when they have an overnight tournament, they have a permit to do that.
Okay.
So the access board is very explicit about what you can and can't do. But right next door is the public parking area.
I know.
65 spaces, and there's 4 handicap spaces there. And that's another one we get arguments about is, well, I want to park in the handicap spaces in the boat ramp, just a vehicle.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Right.
So they give our ramp attendants a hard time. It's just.
Yeah, but the ramp attendant shouldn't hesitate and just call the cops.
Just call the police.
Just call the police.
Yep.
We do,
Yeah.
and they come and they do nothing,
Yeah.
Well, that's
or
the
by
problem.
the time they come, they're gone on the
Right.
boat.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So.
Yeah.
And we'll have a discussion about this. Have to have a follow-up with the chief about it to make sure these people, the other thing, and I've explained this to many, and there was a very bad, very unfortunate incident that happened. I believe it was over in Holland, Mass. It was a small ramp, but the town would refuse to enforce the no swimming, no wading, no etc. And I guess from what I understand from them, the access board, that they had sent certified letters to the town saying you have to enforce it. They ignored it and they let it continue. And a little boy got very badly injured with a boat, tangled with a boat. And the boat won, the child lost. So they sued, and it went to court, and the judge asked the access board people, they had already presented their case and said, you've done due notification, et cetera. Yes, and we got ignored. And so, well, you're dismissed, you can leave. It cost the town, it was $2.something million they had to pay. And the next day, I guess they from what I understand from the access board people, they, covered that area with trap rock and whatnot, so you couldn't even walk to it. So, anyway, that's why we are very, very, careful to make sure, and we get arguments with people. People will have their kids in there waiting. You occasionally get somebody who'll jump right off the end of the boarding dock and go swimming.
All the time.
And they just asking for trouble, asking for injury. So we have to be diligent. If anybody's down there and you see that, feel free to holler at somebody and say, you cannot be in there and you have to get out, otherwise I have to call the police. The more times they hear that, and I will have a discussion with the chief about it and convey what I just told you folks about, because that's part of the why we have to make sure that they don't.
The parking stuff is though, it's like,
Oh,
it's two messages going out, because the boat ramps are open 24/7.
Right.
but
So
the
they-
rule is in effect.
I get that the rule is there, but nobody's there to enforce it, so
Right.
they just do whatever they want. Or at night, they just do whatever they want. So, nobody's there to enforce it. We do when we're
When they have to say
working.
so. That's right.
So it's like a conflicting, okay, you can't do it, but when we're not there, they're doing it, so they think it's okay.
But
I
again,
know it's not
we have
okay,
to be consistent in when we're there,
and we are,
yeah. So,
and then
Anyway,
that's when when we get the attitude.
oh
and
yeah, you can get a
we
lot of
get sweared at. and-
sworn at. So anyway, just to bring you up to date what's been going on with that one, so no surprises. But if you're down there, you happen to cruise through, you see it, feel free. It's very, what we do is if there's a ramp attendant on, they put a tag on their windshield. It says, you no boat, no park, and it costs you $8 because you took up a space. And it could, in addition, it could be $100 fine, and that's what I always remind them. I think we'll add that to the bottom of that warning. I'll be glad to do that, the space. So, and our police can issue those tickets, by the way, against 320 CMR.
They won't, but they can.
They can, because it says right in the CMR that local officials
I know
can.
it's there, but they don't do it.
Yeah, that's a different issue. So I will take care of that. We'll have that discussion. Does anybody else have anything?
Removal of buoys and north ramp docks. What are we doing that?
Not till, I would say, we want to go
Wait till
mid-October.
Wait till ice?
No, wait till mid-October.
Mid-October, okay.
Yeah. Because there's still a lot of activity on weekends. Not during the, Big E kind of sucked off a lot of the activity, especially the first weekend. There was absolutely, I don't know how many people were looking out that first
the weather
weekend
was
when it was so
pretty bad.
nice.
Yeah.
There was nobody on the water. You could go out there, there wasn't a ripple from a boat. Unbelievable.
So middle of October.
Middle of October.
Okay.
And I'll let everybody know and we can pick a day.
Yeah,
And the same thing with the buoys. And we need to give Rick a helping hand getting them out. I'll see if I can get maybe we can coordinate that so that when the guys are down to help us with the docks.
I think they went out last time with Rick right afterwards.
Yeah,
They went right out.
and maybe we can get them because, got some strong guys there and they also have the equipment.
Right.
Because the older buoys, by the way, just an FYI, the older buoys came from Rollion. They would, they're made in multiple pieces and put together. The new buoys that we're getting are from a company in New Hampshire, and it's called Roto Molding. They're one piece, and they're foam injected, so they don't get waterlogged. And it's a closed cell foam. The problem with the older ones is they get waterlogged, so they go in weighing, let's say, 150 pounds, and they come out weighing 300 pounds. they're almost impossible to move a few of them that are really, so actually you can see some of them are sitting cockeyed in the water. There's one, I believe, out by you, Paul, that's sitting crooked in the
Yep.
water.
Hmm.
And it's probably got a lot of water in it.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we will have help to do that because, you know, we can't be lifting those things. Okay, does anybody else have anything? Yeah, Norm.
Wait,
We gotta cover that when, Eric is back on,
right,
when we have a whole group.
but what I think we need to have everybody prepared for whatever meeting we're gonna do it at.
Yeah,
Because, we got some nasty decisions to make.
oh, yeah,
And everyone's gotta be briefed on everything they've received
yeah,
and ready to discuss it.
yep, I agree.
And I cannot find the letter from, Solitude,
Or Solitude or from Ken Wagner. You
Ken
mean?
Wagner.
I can get you that.
Can you send that back?
Sure.
I searched for that. I know I had it because I read it.
It was in the last, reading file.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was copied in the last reading file. I actually have it here. But I'll be happy to resend it.
If you would, please.
Yeah. To Norm. I'll send it to everybody, to all.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Okay.
That's gonna be an interesting and difficult discussion.
Yeah. And we can hold that, you know, because there's nothing gonna happen till next spring anyway. So, I mean, we can do that in our, like, a
Yeah, give
November
that to
meeting.
Norm, that's it right there.
Oh, okay, here it is. There you go. And I still will resend it to
Flip it
everybody.
over, Norm, the next 2 pages.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like Christmas.
okay. We killed a few trees. I do have everybody's packages here. Anybody that didn't attend, I'll have them down in the DPW office, or I can put them in the cauldron on the front porch, whatever somebody's pleasure is.
The other thing is
Okay.
ethics, don't we all have to do ethics?
I haven't heard anything about that, and
I know I was told to notify the COMCON members that they had to do it.
I have not heard a
Is that
thing.
the training?
Yeah, ethics training.
I did it, I got my certificates and everything.
All right.
Yeah, I did it too.
Wow.
And she
Did you get an
said,
email?
I didn't get an email.
yeah, yeah, and
I
she
got
said
an
she's
email.
behind on the email. She's got somebody new there, but everybody needs to take it.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
an email from Lisa,
It's about mid-October or something.
and then
We have to
Lisa
have it
said,
done.
you don't even need to make the hard copies, cause it will automatically go to her.
Right.
But I made the hard copies.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get an email on that, Dick, so she may
I
want to
didn't
send it
either.
out.
I didn't either,
Well,
so.
I think the people that got that reinstated.
Oh, maybe
got the
that's,
email.
yeah, the new ones.
Myself, Norm, I don't know who
That would
else.
make sense.
I got it because
Okay.
of that.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
So
good.
you guys would not have gotten that.
we didn't get it
Okay.
because we,
But I got it, and I'm not being reinstated.
You didn't go? Okay, well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. What she told me was that she has somebody new and all the letters have not gone out.
Ah, okay, all right.
I just got it in an email, so it's easy.
So I'll ask Michelle about it.
Hey, Deb, the guy from CRC that did the Beaver Dam, Scott, he did a
Yeah.
good job. And we taken 4 of them down. So with all of the rain that we've had, he got down there and helped us a lot, just to let you know.
Yeah, Scott's a good guy, huh, Michelle?
Yeah,
He's a great guy,
Okay.
absolutely.
and they keep building in Connecticut as fast as they as they remove them. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been a bitch, to tell you the truth. A real bitch.
Do
We got to
any of
figure
you-
that out.
Do any of you guys know a trapper?
I do not.
Andrzejak,
Yeah,
on
he
South,
doesn't do it anymore. He's too old.
doesn't do it anymore?
Yeah, I know the feeling.
There's a lot
Huh.
more to that, though. You got to get it approved. There's a lot going on with that. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
a whole different-
I think he was a Connecticut trapper.
Right, but he's not doing it anymore. I saw him at the last CRC meeting. He's not doing it.
Okay, yeah. So if you can ask around in CRC, maybe somebody else knows somebody licensed to do that.
Ben brought up,
Alrighty.
that's another one of those things, like so many subjects with CRC that's touchy. There's definitely a lot of people that don't want any harm to come to the beavers. And since you can't drop them and locate them, that means that, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of up for that. So we have to be really careful treading on that.
Agreed.
I know
Yeah.
Scott, you know, Scott's talking to some other people and trying to get like, you know, a gang of guys that he can, get, you know, bring in on that so that, you know, it's not you guys having to do it all the time or him, you know, that people can switch around.
Yeah,
Okay.
alrighty. Anything else, anybody?
Just one quick thing. I touched on the sheriffs the last meeting. I reached out to Sheriff Cochi and didn't get a response. I sent them an email. I didn't get a response. So I grabbed the guys on the boat. And they told me that they're approved to enforce Chapter 91 and our town bylaws. They go to the station every shift and they pick up a ticket book, which is real good. And another good thing, all of their activity goes through the SPD log. So if they respond to something, if they stop something, it should be if they issue a citation. And they told me they have issued citations, but it's all on our log.
Okay.
That's very interesting. I just have to say that I spoke to the chief myself and he said very specifically, they only have enforcement power on the water only. That's what Harbor.
That's interesting. Okay.
I specifically brought up the open container issue as it relates to the North Pond rope swings and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And I said to him that when I called the sheriff's department about people doing dangerous things over there and having bottles of beer and stuff in their hands when they're doing it, the sheriff's department came over and intervened, and it was kind of a little bit of a mess, but they took care of the issue. And I specifically said that to make them aware of the fact that we have the open container law in South, because they probably don't know our town bylaws. And he said, even if they did know it, it doesn't matter because they have no enforcement powers on land.
Wow.
And so they call in the Southwick cops and they came and like managed it. But yeah, so I don't know. There's discrepancy apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe their agreement with the town is just on the water. I don't know.
That could be. That's a good point, Norm. I mean, Paul. Yeah. That may have been the agreement that they signed was strictly as the water piece.
Yep.
That kind of would make sense, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But everything goes through our log, which is fantastic. Now we can look at it.
Yep. Yep. All right. So, and you now all have a copy of like 320 CMR. So that's another one. If there's any other ones you want, I have them all. So. Okay. Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have Norm. Who seconded? Paul. Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Abstain? Unanimous? We're out of here.
See you guys.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Over and out.
Yep.
Bye.
8:18.
We can hear you, Paul.
8:20 p.m.
All right.
Call it
Okay,
8:20.
well, we made it anyhow. It took a
Yes.
little